Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Fear the Talking Heads, where we talk about underrated, underloved films and also the filmography for some of the Scarefest celebrity guests. And this week, I'm joined by Chad Jennings from Bonehead Weekly.
Yes, and for you listeners, just so you know, I am a very sensitive person. I need motivation. So if I don't get the most views for this episode over anything that Barbara does, I don't know what it'll do to me emotionally.
Yeah, so you people need to pick up your A game. Go back and watch Monster Squad and part two of Jeffrey Combs. Get on that. So Jason Patric, we
Yes.
we kind of figured since he's coming to Scarefest, we wanted to dive into some of the movies Jason Patric has starred in. I have brought some horror genre with me, and I just know that Chad is packing some non-horror because he usually does.
Especially when it comes to Jason Patric.
Yes.
Yes, Jason Patric has done some pretty cool things in the horror genre, but the man is a very versatile, talented actor, and there's a lot of stuff that he did that isn't necessarily horror related that you should know and see if you haven't seen him. So you got to talk about his third role ever, second role ever. Third role is the biggest one, of course, most people are a fan of. You got to talk about Solar Bait. Don't get me wrong, it's not the movie I want to talk about the most, but when you're talking about Jason Patric, you got to talk about Solar Babies. So it is notoriously panned. Let's get that out of the way. People consider it horrible. What a lot of people don't know is there was a certain producer for this film. Do you know this?
I don't. I was just going to let you handle Solar Babies.
So the producer of this film is one Mel Brooks.
Okay,
And
so that's why you love it?
no,
No.
I did not know this till a lot older. I liked this movie as a kid, but the movie was so terrible and bombed horribly that it almost ruined Mel
Oh,
Brooks.
I didn't realize it bombed. I didn't look into it deep
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
on that.
it was a commercial failure.
But so was Monster Squad initially, right?
I know, and that one's obscene.
Yes.
Now Solar Babies, you kind of get an idea of why. I mean, it opens up with it's a bunch of roller skaters for one thing, so it's right out of the 80s, but it takes place in the future. And there's an apocalypse, and these kids all find this glowing mystical orb that they're trying to protect from the evil men to do what they do. And
Yes.
Jason Patric is, of course, the leader who plays Jason. And what kills me is I didn't realize that him and Jamie Gertz did this and Lost Boys back to back. I didn't realize that until just now.
Maybe that's why they were so comfortable with each other on
Yeah,
The Lost Boys.
exactly. Why they had that chemistry. Jason Patric, he's probably shines more than anybody in this film. But yeah, and it was directed, of course, like I said, if you look now that you look at it and realize Mel Brooks produced this, the director Alan Johnson is the guy who was the choreographer for a ton of Mel Brooks films. And this was his big breakout.
I wonder if there's this huge lot of people that love Solar Babies the way other people love Monster Squad. I mean, it's possible.
I really think there is. I
Hmm.
just I believe there is a cult following for Solar Babies. Now, is it as huge as Monster Squad? By far, no. But I think it's out there. I think there are people because when I saw this as a kid in 1980, I probably saw it 87, 88, so I was 7 or 8.
Sure.
I was amazed by this film. And I always wanted to roller skate. And there's a trauma story that I won't beg people down about me roller skating as a kid.
Oh, did you fall?
No, uh, just real quickly, I was roller skating in our neighborhood as a kid and with my sister, and I ended up somehow in a field that was almost like quicksand, and I sunk down to my hips
No.
in this mud, and I had roller skate ons and couldn't move, and then my sister abandoned me. She says, "I'll go get mom," and I felt like she says I was there 5 minutes, but for a 7 year old kid, it probably felt like 2 hours. And then my mom had to come and physically jerk me out of the
Oh
mud and then carry
no.
me on her shoulders home.
I'm trying to think. So was Neverending Story a movie that was out at that point or not?
I didn't see it till after, and I'm like, I
Okay.
relate.
Because that could have been terrifying. I'm gonna die. down here.
And it's still something I don't let my sister live down till this day.
I bet not. Hey,
Uh-uh.
that's what you're supposed to do with siblings anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, solar. I just when we talk about it, we have to start at the beginning and solar babies.
I did an entire episode on The Lost Boys with one of my other co-hosts, Jason Shepard.
I'll say this about Lost Boys, and then we can move on. It was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I genuinely loved it. I had a bootleg copy of it on VHS that I watched constantly. I loved everybody in that movie. It's Jason Patric, Kiefer Sutherland, Diane Wiest, Corey Haim Feldman. I wish I could remember the grandpa's name that I'm blanking on.
Was that your first vampire film that you had seen?
I don't remember a vampire movie before that. So yeah.
I saw that he was in a horror movie called Becoming, and it was only put out in 2020. He's not the main character, he's more of a side character, but it's impactful. His role in it is necessary. So there's this couple that are doing this huge road trip. Their main goal is to go see her parents, but they're
Mhm.
taking this long road trip there. And there's this evil entity that's swapping different hosts. Have you ever seen the movie Fallen
Of
with
course.
Denzel Washington? Okay, it reminded me of that in a small way. It's not the same, but the body hopping with different hosts and things like that was very similar. So I
Oh,
feel like
really?
it, yes. And so I really liked it. And I thought it was shot well. There was good character development there. And Jason Patric's role in this, he's the guy that has a website saying, "Hey, this exists. There's this evil entity and there's survivors and he's one of the survivors." It's just very interesting. It's kind of like this mystery that's unfolding in the movie. And he plays a character that's trying to intervene, and he has this idea that he tells the fiance, like, "Hey, I know how to stop it, because if you kill him, he's just gonna hop into another body." So I thought it was really creepy.
It's a dark being that goes from host to host to host. It's a spirit, an entity, the devil, maybe.
So I'll be honest with you, I have not seen this movie, but from what you're telling me, and I looked it up and I looked up who directed it. I'm like, oh, so the guy who directed this is the one who also directed Robin Williams in Final Cut, which is an underappreciated movie that he of Robin Williams. Always recommend people checking that out. It's actually Robin Williams as playing a psycho. So yeah, knowing the guy's previous work, this all sounds like right up his alley and how he would direct a film. So
Yeah, I would highly recommend that
I'll
for
check it out.
anybody.
I didn't.
Yeah. Because if you liked Fallen, I think you would like this one.
Oh yeah, I love Fallen. One of the
Yeah.
best twists ever.
Yeah.
So for our next one, I think I'm going to hold off on the one I was going to talk to next, just in case we have a little time at the end and I'll mention it.
Yeah.
But if we're going to stick in the realm of horror, you got to talk about 1990s Frankenstein Unbound as well. Did you see this one?
I have not, but when I
Oh,
saw it on the list, I had wondered if you had.
yeah, it's Roger Corman, so of course I've seen it. So yeah, it is a Roger Corman film, Frankenstein Unbound. It's basically a different take on the creature. The monster, the actual version of Frankenstein's monster, is insane. The cast is phenomenal. Uh, Raul Julia as Victor Frankenstein. John Hurt is in it as playing a character named Buchanan. I mean, Bridget Fonda, who will always have a place in my heart.
Did you love her in Point of No Return?
I love her in anything.
Ah,
So yeah, I love Point of No Return. I like it
yeah.
better than La Femme Nikita,
Okay.
which is the original that it's based off of.
Right.
But I just like Bridget Fonda.
Yeah, I do
The
too. I
guys know
really
my
love that movie.
the guys know my lifelong crush of Bridget Fonda. And of course, Jason Patric plays Lord Byron, which
Was
he
it a
actually
big part?
it's not a huge part,
Okay.
but it's a decent part to watch the film and watch him playing Lord Byron. Because full disclosure, I love Bride of Frankenstein. I really, really do. But that opening segment with Mary Shelley talking to Lord Byron, I absolutely despise. I wish they
Really?
would cut that out and just have the movie. I hate that guy who plays Lord Byron. I'm blanking on his name because my hatred of him is makes no it's just unbound. I hate the way he now granted that's the way they talked in movies back then, but the way he just rolls his R's and stuff to make him sound You know,
Did you feel triggered, Chad?
oh, it triggers me every time. I love that movie, and I refuse to fast forward. But those first 5 minutes, it just triggers me. I'm like, I hate you so much. Get to the screaming lady, who I love. If you haven't seen Frankenstein Unbound and you like Frankenstein, you should see this. You should. That's all there is. That's all I can say. And the monster is just amusing as hell.
Well, the other one I wanted to talk about was Home Invasion. There's a break-in, and the lady's there with her friend. Her friend goes out to check on who these people are that are just stopped outside, and things don't end well for her. But the rest of the movie is essentially about her getting help from this guy, Mike, who is played by Jason Patric, and he's helping her as a security guy seeing on the cameras. That's one that is not necessarily horror and gore, but it's a good thriller.
I'll follow that back up with another one that's not even remotely horror. You got to talk about Rush.
It does show two cops, Jennifer Jason Leigh and Jason Patric,
Hmm.
getting addicted. They're undercover and they're getting addicted to these drugs that
That
in
they're
the
there to
movie. Yeah.
stop, that they're there to help
Yes.
stop, and they're just getting more and more addicted. Yeah, it's amazing film. So yeah, and it also, I mean, it also has another, again, it's Jason Patric and Jennifer Jason Leigh, but Sam Elliott, William Sadler, Max Perlich, I think is his name, and Dennis Berkeley as the motorcycle guy. I know the last two you're who the hell are you? Look them up. You go, oh, it's those guys. And the thing is, Rush is sort of known, but the main reason Rush is known is, of course, Tears in Heaven
Right.
from that for that soundtrack. But Jason Patric just nails it.
And you believe him. That's one thing I want to say in the midst of this is that there's never been a role that Jason Patric has done that I didn't believe that character.
Yeah,
There might be some movies that he's in where the rest of the movie falls apart for other various reasons, but it's never because of Jason Patric,
right.
in my opinion.
No, he carries it. And there's going to be one that I talk about a little bit later where it fell apart, but not because of him. He was actually probably the best part about that movie.
I don't have this written on my list, but I feel like I need to talk about it because I don't know how many other people have seen it. I could only watch it once, and it's not because it's a bad movie. It was very well done, but it's the content of the movie that's
I
really
know.
hard.
I bet I know
It's Sleepers.
what I was going to bring up next.
Oh, you're seriously?
Oh
Go
yeah.
for it, Chad. Go
You
on.
know, no. Sleepers, I agree with Barbara. It is a hard watch just because of the subject material. It's these four kids who, are generally very innocent kids living their life, and one bad decision, one mistake, and they're sent to a juvenile detention center where terrible, terrible things happen, and it just changes the course of their lives forever. Now, Jason Patric does a great job, but you got to talk about Kevin Bacon as well, who plays the prison guard, who's just an absolute monster. But the plot is something happens in the future while they're adults, and it's all about the four kids getting their revenge on these prison guards in the craziest way possible.
If you want to know the trigger warning, just look it up on Wikipedia or Google.
Yeah.
Just don't read too far down where you know the entire plot.
Which I mean, if you see
Yeah.
little boys prison, you kind of get it.
Abuse in various ways. We will
Yeah,
leave it
yeah.
at that. But it's hard to watch, but also, I mean, you've got Brad Pitt that's also in there, Ron Eldard,
Uh,
Billy Crudup.
Minnie Driver and Dustin Hoffman as their attorney, and of course Robert De Niro as the
Oh,
priest. It's largely forgotten, which kills me about this movie because I mean, and Jason Patric, he's one of the boys. He plays a reporter who's tying this all in. And I mean, oh my God, it really is. It's a tour de force, in my opinion. And it's
yeah.
directed by Barry Levinson, who's, a legend in his own right.
I was going to say it's kind of like movies like The Firm or A Few Good Men,
Hmm.
that have a really good meaty plot to it. And it's funny that I just said The Firm because I do believe that that's a Jason Patric was offered that lead role first. Whatever, I think he turned it down and then it ended up going to Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
know that.
all right, since I kind of stole yours,
No,
what else do you have
you didn't
there?
steal it. I mean, whereas this is what this is. I'm debating on Barbara. Do we talk about Speed 2?
Yes, we have to.
Okay. I know when you compare it to the original, and then the plot is just absurd. But I like Jason Patric in that film. I like Willem Dafoe as the weird guy who's obsessed with leeches.
He's so batshit. He really is. He's
He
so,
really is.
so great at
I, s-
any character he does. He's another one.
yeah, I swear, I think he said he looked at Dennis Hopper and he goes, "How can I one up him?" And boy, did he.
He did. He did. He really did. He's another one that I could sit and just have a good hour-long conversation about Willem Dafoe movies too.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
even
yeah,
going
yeah.
back to Wild at Heart.
Yeah, which I still need to see. Unfortunately, I can't believe I
Wait a
have never.
minute, you haven't seen Wild at Heart?
Mm-mm.
I'm in disbelief right now.
I know. I think at one point I convinced myself that I did, and then I'm like, wait, I've never seen this film.
How have you seen Love in a 45, but that yet you haven't seen Wild at Heart? I'm very confused right now. Yeah, you have to put that at the top of your
Yeah,
list.
especially since we were talking. I am laid up for 6 weeks, so I need to find it and watch it. I just
Yes. Now I feel compelled to make you a little list.
yeah. I mean, I've been watching some terrible, terrible stuff lately,
On
just because
purpose?
I'm on purpose because I'm like, I need to watch something. How about this? Oh my God, what? Why am I making these poor decisions?
Figure out what to do with your life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people should watch it just because in some ways, sometimes people feel like the second of a movie or sequel or whatever could be better than the first one. Some people
hmm
may prefer Jason Patric over Keanu.
Keanu Reeves, I don't, there's a whole story about why he didn't do the role. But the large part is he just wanted to be part. I think the large portion is he wanted to be part of his band, the Dog Star. He wanted to go play with Dog Star, I think is the story. But
Oh,
I think it's crazier than that.
okay.
So I knew this story one time and I did not, I wish I would have done the research for it, but I didn't know we were going to talk about Speed 2 for this.
You started
I
it.
know. But the boat part is I'm leading to what I think is Jason Patric's best film ever. Narc is directed by Joe Carnahan, who, in my opinion, is one of these directors who doesn't get props for how amazing he is. Joe Carnahan has done some amazing films, and they either just don't do very well, or they slide underneath the radar. Like he did the A Team reboot, which is phenomenal. Smoking Aces was another great movie. Cop Shop, which came out 4 years ago, 3 years ago. No, four. I forget what year we're in. That is a phenomenal film. And also, too, it's on Hulu only. If you haven't seen Boss Level, oh my God. Mwah. And there's tons of other ones, but Joe Carnahan, he's phenomenal. And this was one of his first films, and Narc is truly a piece of art, especially between the two leads of Ray Liotta and Jason Patric, who are two cops who are on a murder, they're interrogation of a policeman. And it's just them going deeper and darker, trying to figure this case out.
So he's undercover in it, you said?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
One of the cool parts, there are scenes where they're out interviewing people in the public. That is completely guerrilla style. Those were real people they were going up to and trying to pretending to be cops and interviewing them, and they were being shot secretively to keep that realism. I mean, Narc is just, I mean, it really is. It's a beautiful film.
And it's over 20 years old.
Yeah, and I mean, Narc is for those who were there at the time, it got a lot of buzz and it had a little bit of an impact. But as of course, as time le progresses, people just forget about stuff. Narc is phenomenal.
I'm looking at it now, and this cover I've seen before.
Yeah,
I used to work in a video store. Is like the only job that yeah, I worked in a video store. I
I know.
really
I'm
loved
just
it.
angry at you because that's the main thing. That's the main job I wanted to have as a
No
teenager.
way, really?
Never got it. I
Well,
applied for every single video store.
I had it as an adult when I was in this phase of I don't know what I want to do when I grow up.
Yeah.
I was literally in my late 20s. It's like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. Well, let's go work at a video store. But the one job that I always wanted was to work in a theater, and I didn't do it. And
Yeah.
if I could exchange those two, I would definitely trade one for the other.
I wanted to do both and nobody
Did
would
you?
ever hire me. The biggest excitement I ever had was the summer. Before I went to college, I worked at Kmart in the electronics section.
Oh, that's not anything like the movie theater.
I know that was the only that was I was like, ooh, I get to be around all these movies and people come and ask me about movies and I tell them and I was like, this is so sad.
Well, the thing that I thought was cool about working at the video store, it was Family Video. I don't know if you guys ever had any out there
No.
in Lexington. There was, of course, there's that one. There was Planet Video, and of course, the big one, Blockbuster. But I
Hmm.
worked at Family Video. It was cheaper rentals and things like that. But they would get these, they called them pre-streets, movies that would come in on Friday, but they wouldn't release until, I believe, Tuesday.
Hmm.
And they encouraged us as employees to take them home. They wanted us to take them home. You didn't even have to pay a rental fee for it. They just wanted you to take them home so that if people came up to ask you about the movie, you could talk about it with them.
Hmm.
So it was like part of your job to take these movies home. And I'm like, oh, darn, I have to take home free
Yeah.
movies and watch them over the weekend. That's my homework. Yeah, I friggin' love that job.
Me
Uh,
too.
but yeah,
Um,
so Narc, I will definitely look that one up.
and I mean, you're talking about somebody who loved Lost Boys and Rush and as we've been talking, a lot of Jason Patric films. It's his best film, in my opinion, is Narc.
I don't know if you've seen this movie that I'm going to mention with Bruce Willis and John Cusack that he did back in 2014, so just a little over 10 years ago. And it's essentially about Jason Patric's daughter is missing. The backstory involves Bruce Willis as this bad guy, and Jason Patric, his character is an ex-assassin. He doesn't do that job anymore, but now he's a mechanic out in, I think, Mississippi and just trying to live his life clean. Jason Patric was responsible for Bruce Willis losing his wife and child. The daughter, she has a friend that's super annoying in it. If you can get past that in the movie, stick with it because I think Jason Patric was amazing in this. Complete badass. So Bruce Willis plays the character of Omar. And Omar has this guy that does some of his dirty work for him. And he was pulling some Jackie Chan type moves when he was doing this fight scene with Jason Patric. Like up the wall and then a kick to Jason Patric. I don't know. That stuff normally is not my cup of tea. I'm not into a lot of action in movies, but this movie was, I thought, well played out, really well done. If you can get past the annoying, I almost said teenager, but no, she's a college age girl that's trying to hit on Jason Patric, and he's like, "No, man, I'm just trying to find my daughter." You can get out of here with that.
Yeah.
But yes, I recommend checking out The Prince.
So, where do we go from here?
I have one that I'm saving for the very end.
Okay, I have
So,
two.
okay, you go.
Now, this is not one of my favorite movies. I'll be honest with you. It's The Alamo, where he plays James Bowie. Now, right away, I tell you right now, I don't like movies about the Alamo because for the most part, every movie gets it wrong. It's not really what happened. It's the glorified version of America's great. Yeah, the Alamo. The best part about it is Jason Patric is Jim Bowie. And you're talking about a cast that has Dennis Quaid, Billy Bob Thornton as Davy Crockett, Patrick Wilson, Leon Rippey. I mean, there's tons of people in this film, and he by far nails it as the ailing James Bowie, who for the most part is he's trying to make himself right. He's trying to be a good, decent person, but he's too sick to help. And he's amazing in it as this guy who's just basically dying. It's not a great film, but Jason Patric brings it home. But the one movie, so I told you, Narc is my favorite James Patric movie.
Is this next one your second favorite?
Oh, it's very close. And when people ask me about my favorite comic book movies, I list this one because it people don't realize it. They forgotten about it, and B, don't realize it's a comic film. It's The Losers. He plays a really great villain in the film. His name's Max. And The Losers is about this group of army or military specialists who Max sets up as killing a bunch of children, but the entire world thinks he's dead. they're dead, and it's about them trying to clear their name by finding this mystery man named Max, who is played by Jason Patric, who again plays the world's slimiest villain. One of the best parts about the film, this movie has one of the best performances by Chris Evans, as has Jensen. Zoe Saldana's great in it. Idris Elba is also amazing. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he plays Clay. He's the leader of the losers. He's phenomenal in this. Everybody does a great performance, but Jason Patric as the villain is amazing.
Who am I looking at here? Clay and his unit. Clay and his unit? Sounds like a porno. Killed him.
Just this slime balled like guy who thinks he's smarter and better than everyone. He wears a white tux, white suit. Oh, it's great. It's really an entertaining watch. Now again, it's action because it's a comic book film. And when you said, what would you like to talk about? I'm like, well, Jason Patric, Losers was at the top of that list. So same with Narc. I'm like, because people just I don't hear people talk about the Losers because it's just one of those comic book movies that got lost because it's not about superheroes. It's about army guys.
It's a nice contrast because I always bring like the darker stuff, and you're like, "Yay, comic book!"
Yeah, because
So
I love the dark stuff too, but I really try to like balance it with like the
yes.
really the happy stuff.
Well, there's a lot of times where if movies like that are really darker, like Feast, I can't say it's kind of funny. It's a lot of
Yeah.
points are funny in Feast, but I'll watch that stuff with grandma because it's something that I can watch as a, with another person. That's not something I would watch at home by myself, the gory stuff. But speaking of the gory stuff, I saved this one for the last because of it being Scarefest and some of the people that enjoyed the Terrifier franchise. He signed on and did Terrifier 3. So I did watch the first and the second one. I don't know if I'll ever get around to 3, and that's not because I think it's terrible or anything like
Yeah.
that. It's just because it's really beyond the level of gore that I appreciate in horror movies.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the Terrifier franchise exists for people that love it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so he's in there as Sienna and Jonathan's father. The fact that he plays in the flashbacks of their father, I thought, well, that's really cool
Hmm.
because maybe since they're obviously going to do another one, Terrifier 4, maybe they will actually have him in that as well.
Yeah, because I hope there's a better explanation for why Laura Laverne, it's telling me her name again. I can't,
Lauren Lavera.
Lauren Lavera, why she has these powers and what it connects. Because I'm still confused by that whole process. So I want them to
Yes.
explain it in four because I will watch it. I like the Terrifier films, I do. But man, I was just trying to like some of the plot. I'm like, I'm so confused.
Well, I didn't realize that we have Chris Jericho, Jason Patric, Tom Savini, and John Abrahams. All four are going to be at Scarefest this year. So if you have a Terrifier 3 poster and you're looking to get it signed, I just thought it was worth noting that you have four people that you could get signing a poster.
Hmm.
It's an incredible opportunity for him to be added on to something that's a franchise now.
Yeah, I think it's great.
From what I've heard, the fourth one is supposed to talk more about the background of the father. So either they're including him in that, or maybe he'll just be, mentioned. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's a possibility. But yeah, that's what I had. Did you have any leftovers or did we eat it all up?
The one I was holding off on because I was like, well, if we have time, I'll talk about it. I got to go back in time to 1988. The Beast of War is another one that, again, people have forgotten about, and it's amazing. It's about it's a Soviet tank and its crew none of them get along at all, but they get separated from their team, whatever you want to call it. I'm blanking. Regiment, let's say that. And it's about them trying to get back to them in this tank while also being hunted by the enemy, by rebels. It's a phenomenal film, and Jason Patric's really great in it. But yeah, no, the Beast of War. I'm sorry. Yeah, The Beast of War. It's sometimes called just The Beast. But yeah, it's a great film.
You just mentioned that that was sometimes named something different. I forgot to mention that this movie called The Abandoned is one that also runs by a different name, The Confines. So I'm just throwing this in here at the 11th hour because I it was at the very bottom of my page, and when I turned it over, it just got forgotten about. Okay, so Cooper his is the character that he's playing,
Hmm.
and he's a security guard in this luxury building, but it has like a supernatural presence to it. And this girl that's working with him, she's seeing things and
Hmm.
trying to explain to him of what's going on. And he finds out that she's on antipsychotic drugs. And he's like, I don't know, I don't really believe what you're saying to me right now. We'll check this out, but I'm going to put you in some handcuffs just to make sure that you're not going to do anything funny here. So, they go and check it out. It's very much a movie that isn't what it seems. So you're watching it and you're expecting it to be one thing and it ends up being another. And I'm a firm believer that that's not always a bad thing. I think it's really, you get two movies for one sometimes with
Yeah,
that.
because this is a horror podcast, and technically he doesn't have a role in it. He's just the voice at the beginning, but he was the narrator for Strange Darling. The beginning is an homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Jason Patric is the John Larroquette. John Larroquette did the narration for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and now Jason Patric is doing the narration for Strange Darling, and it's basically beat by beat the same narration as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Check out Jason Patric at his table and maybe bring him something obscure, a really cool
Yeah,
poster that isn't Lost Boys. I mean, you can bring him the Lost Boys obviously to sign, but bring him
bring
something
him the
else
losers and tell him he was one of the best comic book villains ever.
and tell him Chad sent you.
Yeah.